Alright, meditation. So meditation has been something that has helped people from being very depressed and having suicidal thoughts to turning into entrepreneurs who love their work and who can do whatever they want. Meditation also helps people make better decisions with less going on in their mind, and also clears up anxiety in the process. And meditation has personally helped me lose 75 pounds. It's got me into the gym every single day, and my mental health feels a lot better. My name's Amon, and I used to help people who have any sort of skill or creative skill or talent, and I help them monetize their passion with mental health reframes, and technology. Okay, so my personal experience with meditation. So I basically came across meditation in 2022, and that's basically when I ended up changing my entire life. So I used to be really fat, and I had difficulties with like resisting junk food and things like that. And I used to basically cope and say like a little bit of junk food won't really like affect my weight loss journey at all. And technically that's true, but it made me unhealthy, and being unhealthy makes you have worse decisions. With worse decisions, you're gonna be actually opting for junk food more times than you don't. And obviously, if you actually eat that junk food, it's going to make you even more and more unhealthy, which makes you less prone to actually resisting that junk food and like actually going on top and like going to your journey, right? So that's like basically how meditation helped me. So basically, if you don't have that some sort of clarity, then you're going to end up going into a spiral and being like 300 pounds, right? And once I started meditating, I had like a morning routine. It gave me discipline and some structure to my life. And once I actually felt disciplined and was disciplined by doing one thing every single day, even if it didn't feel like it, then I was more inclined to actually resist junk food. And it made my ability to catch myself like in my thoughts a lot better, and a lot quicker actually. So if I used to eat junk food because I was hungry, then after meditating, then I would simply think about that action that I was about to do. So instead of just like blindly just doing it, I would actually realize in my head before I actually do it, okay, this is against my goals. I don't want to do this, right? Because if you can't even catch yourself in your thought and realize what you're actually doing, then you won't actually go anywhere. And I found that meditation was kind of like the start of everything, right? So if I didn't meditate, I wouldn't do cold showers. I wouldn't even think about doing cold showers. It wouldn't be like a thought. My mind would be clouded with random thoughts, and all of them don't really serve me or aren't really aligned with my purpose or my goal, right? Now, why should you meditate? Obviously, there's benefits, right? For your mental health, your focus, to actually find your purpose if you don't know what to do, to work towards some sort of goal. And it's basically like a prerequisite for a healthy life, right? Because we're bombarded with so many different sources of dopamine, it's a lot harder to actually focus and kind of get towards your goals, because everyone at all times, your devices, people around you, everything is telling you what to do. But then if you don't know yourself what to do, then you just like are basically a zombie through life. And then there's going to be a lot of problems in your life, or like projects you take on. Sometimes it might be like a life or a project related thing, but in a lot of cases it's a mental health problem that arises and actually affects everything, right? So here's like a quick little story, right? Let's say call this guy Joe. Joe wants to make progress with his music, right? So he's done some research. He knows that his music is actually good enough to promote, but all he needs to do is promote it, get it out to record labels, DJs, whatever, right? To actually get his name out there. In the back of his mind, he knows what to do, right? Just reach out to DJs, clubs, venues, record labels, people he knows, anyone in music, right? But then whenever he actually sits down to do the work to get towards his goal of being like a self-sustained artist, he gets distracted and goes down rabbit holes. He doesn't actually sit down to actually do the work properly, and he only realizes when it's time to like eat or sleep that he sat down to do work at the start of the day, and at the end of the day, he's done basically nothing towards his goals. He said he would reach out to everyone in the city to, get his music out there and to hopefully get some sort of progress towards his goal, but he ends up doing nothing. So why can't he get what he wants, right? He simply just has no focus and no ability to catch himself when he's going off the rails. So everyone's gonna have this problem of like going off the rails when they're doing like some sort of task, right? But when you actually meditate, then it's a lot easier to catch yourself and get back on track, right? Even in the scripting of this video, I got distracted by a lot of things, right? And it took a little bit of time to script out the video, and it was longer than it should have been, right? If I didn't meditate, then I probably wouldn't even finish this video, to be honest. Because I meditated, I realized that I was going off track, and I was like going down these rabbit holes when researching and stuff. Then I realized I should probably just get back on track and forget that like a little rabbit hole, close that up, start back on the work that I was supposed to do. So Joe can't get to what he wants because he can't work, he can't focus, he's not present on the task and doesn't really lock in. So the stakes, right? If he actually doesn't get his like creative work out there and his like talent to actually work properly and make him some money, then he's gonna go to get a 9-to-5 job. He wants to make it work, right? But he can't sit down to actually do the work to get towards his goals, right? And then he finds out about a video like something about meditation similar to this, and then he starts to meditate, right? Next time he sits down to do his work, nothing really changes. But over time, over a couple of sessions of meditation, he starts to realize like what meditation really is about. And this is what I'm going to tell you in the video on what meditation really is about and how to fast track that little like eureka moment, right? Where he actually realizes that is working. But then when he actually has that eureka moment, then the next time he sits down, he's getting distracted, right? Going into a rabbit hole. But then he realizes, okay, I'm not doing what I said I would do. I'm not getting towards my goal. And he goes back on track. And he realizes much quicker and quicker every time he does a meditation. And then eventually he gets into the flow and starts doing the actual work. Now eventually after meditating, Joe sits down to do work, right? And he does enough work consistently enough and with enough focus that he makes his goal and his dream come true of being like a self-reliant artist in his city, right? Now that's kind of like why you should meditate, but what really is meditation, right? So you know why it's important, but you need to understand what it is so that you get into it. So meditation is a practice to be more present and to strengthen our minds and to be less distracted by the world. So when we want to focus, focus is important, right? Per the story, then we can retain our focus and we can complete a day's worth of work in maybe an hour. And if you do it enough times, to get better and better, like everything in the world, and soon your default state will be focus and presence. You're not going to really have these random thoughts that are gonna pop up and like take you off track. Obviously, it's gonna still happen. We are humans, right? But it's going to be a lot easier to get back on track and also to not even get off track in the first place, which is the main benefit of meditation. So what do you actually need to start meditation, right? You need yourself, time, and a little bit of commitment. So here's how to meditate. This is the juicy part of the guide. So you got to sit down, take a deep breath, right? Just inhale and then exhale, right? So you have to keep on doing that until a thought pops into your head. So let's just say a thought would be something you're about to do later on today. Like maybe it's like a little bit of an event, right? And you'll probably be thinking about that and you won't realize that you're thinking about it. But then with meditation, maybe if you're doing like a guided meditation, which would be probably the best way to do this, right? You'll hear the person say inhale, exhale, and then what you'll realize is that like, oh, I was off track. I was thinking about something, right? Let's go focus back on my breath. Or like if you're grounding yourself by like the sounds and let's say another car comes by, or maybe like a bird chirps or like whatever you're actually grounding yourself to in the present moment. Most times that would be the breath. You can do that anywhere, but sometimes it can be anything, right? Like, so let's just do it right now. A little bit of a meditation, right? So just inhale and exhale. So inhale, exhale. Again. Exhale. And if you just had another thought that came to your head, then just focus back on the breath and try it again. So if you just caught yourself not being present, then you've basically figured out what you actually need to do to meditate. And yeah, that's basically like a quick guide on how to actually meditate. So okay, so if you like meditation or if you want to actually get into it or you found any of this video like at all helpful, then let me know. I always want to improve, right? But if you want to continue improving, then you can always comment down below or message me directly on social media or whatever, and I'll basically help you out and try to figure out what you actually need to do to help you get towards your goals for free.